Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.
What up? Welcome back to the Necro Zoo. I am Bones. And in this one, let's go ahead and add one more figure to my McFarlane DC Multiverse collection. Now this time it is going to be the Joker from the Dark Knight Returns wave. Now I already have done two figures before, the Batman and the Superman. So I will only be missing Carrie Kelly, Robin. But I am pretty interested in taking a closer look at this figure. Some things I do want to try out, some things that I do want to study a little bit closer. Looks pretty psychotic in the packaging, and we'll go ahead and take a look at it. But first, he does come with your standard black DC Multiverse stand. Now, these are not needed, but sometimes they come in useful. He also comes with his data file card. Now, this is where there's some pretty awesome figure photography here, and I really wish they would have had the picture on the back of the boxes, because this wave, all of the boxes have had the same figure of Batman on the horse, but I would have really have liked to get a big version of this Joker card on the back of the box, but oh well. On the back you do have some information. So let's go ahead and add this to the collection. Now he does come with some accessories. He has a knife, which he does use in the graphic novel. A little bit soft, but it's not like I'm going to try and stab somebody with this. This is just for show and for, you know, putting into the figure's hand, so it's not a big deal. He also comes with an alternate gesturing hand. That way you could switch it out and put him in some manacle poses. He also comes with the saddle for the horse. It is pretty nice. You do have the stirrups there, and on the back you do have a bat emblem etched into the leather, so that's pretty sweet looking. And he also comes with the head to the horse, so gonna be pretty awesome when we finally get to build this guy. Slightly articulated, but I think it moves more when you put it into the other part of the body. But you can turn the head a little bit, but we'll get into that later. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at him. Now, first impressions. I have an idea of what this face reminds me of, but we'll take a closer look at it in a little bit. But all in all, encompassing the suit, the color scheme, does represent the Joker from the Dark Knight Returns. Now, for me, he is a little bit bulky, even though in the graphic novel he is older. So I mean, you know, there you could attribute that to that he's older, so he's a little bit more stocky. But I just think for some reason in my mind, I see him a little bit thinner. It's fine. He's not as thick as the Superman and Batman, but he pretty thick, so that's the first impressions. He does look pretty psychotic, pretty crazy in the face sculpt. And just the way they put his tie like in a swishing motion gives it a little bit of movement, you know, so it's not so stale. But yeah, it looks good. It's like a good Joker figure to add to the shelf. Let's take a look at the head sculpt. Now this is where it comes in that when I first saw this, I kind of had an idea of what I thought this face sculpt was going to be representing, because a lot of people have said that this is like at the last of the fight between him and Batman, when Batman has pretty much basically killed him by breaking his neck. They have a shot of him, you know, with a big, you know, grin on his face. But the bad part about that is that he doesn't have the Batarang in his eye. They didn't go the way Mattel did with showing us that version. So this is more along the lines of before that actually happened. Now, after digging, it did seem clearer to me what this face sculpt is based on. And I mean, this is my take on it. I don't know how right I am or not, But if you look in the panel, there's a shot of not actually the Joker, but the therapist lady that he has poisoned with the Joker lipstick. And this face kind of looks like her face. So it might have been like they just pulled, you know, they pulled this picture and they started using it as a base for the face. But it's not the Joker, it's actually like a victim. But if you put it next to it, it does look like you could see the resemblance, and that is actually what I thought when I first saw this, was that it's not that, you know what it reminds me of that picture of the therapist when she's like, you know, going all crazy with the laughter. And yeah, it does kind of look like that. So I think this is more of a hybrid of the Joker and that image that's, you know, probably stuck in a lot of people's minds. But if you get away from that and just take this as a Joker head sculpt, it is really awesome. Looks cool. I mean, he has the cool hysterical laughing face and a lot of cool detail in the eyes. Love the hair that they put on him. Could have been a little bit lighter green. It is a darker green. But all in all, really nice head sculpt. We will compare it to the Mattel ones here in a bit, but let's take a look at his articulation now. I also saw a review where the guy basically put his finger on the Joker's head and said that there is no movement at all except for left to right. So I was kind of interested to take a look at it myself. And what did I actually find? That there's actually a ton of articulation. He looks up basically the way the Superman does. It's like you could get him in flight poses or whatever. That's how far his articulation is in the head. So he looks up extremely high. He could look down. Of course, he can't turn to the right. And he can't turn to the left. And you could still tilt his head for some character. So all in all, this guy has incredible articulation. Actually, he has the maximum articulation you could ask for from a double ball joint. So no problems there. Let's look down. Now, like I say, he is kind of broad from the chest. I do like the way they swooped out the tie here. Looks really nice. Now, there's actually something besides the swooped out tie. And you can see that underneath he does have the suit, the purple shirt under there. But if you look at the suit, there is an image where they kind of have this texture. I mean, this like print on the suit. Even though it all is a lot of different stuff. I think the pants are darker as well. But you could see that they tried to image that texture or that pattern. And they did it here with the texturing. So it came out nice, but they could have... It doesn't necessarily like apply to this look in the graphic novel, but it is in there with that pattern of the darker suit. So all in all, it's cool. It's not a big deal. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation. I think it's going to be kind of stiff because of the full coat they have him on. But let's see if he has waist articulation. Actually, he does. He has a swivel at the waist. Now he doesn't have upper chest swivel because of course that's just one piece. So you will be missing that. Now he can lean forward a little and back a little. You can rock them from side to side. You can twist them, but very slightly because of the way the jacket is on, the torso. And surprisingly, you still can't twist them to get them in some cool poses. It is a little bit less than usual waist articulation, but all in all, it's not bad. Let's look at the shoulder. Now there is no butterfly shoulder joint, but he does have a little bit of movement in there, but just not the same as the regular shoulder cuts we've seen. No bicep swivel. He does have double jointed elbows. Pretty cool. They actually match the pattern here in the elbow hinge that's on the coat. He has the standard ball joint with the hinge. going down into the sleeve. You see a little purple there, and then he goes into the hand. Pretty nice. On this other hand, he has a gripping hand. Let's take a look at the shoulders. Now, he does go up into more than a T pose, almost a Y pose. Pretty nice. Now let's go ahead and look at his thigh swivel. It is there, but a little bit restricted by the coat. You can still cock his leg out. Has single jointed knees. You do get that sweet hip flexor rotation on there. Another interesting thing to point out is that the knee actually has swivel. So that's weird. You can actually like twist his leg up a little bit. That's rather interesting. So he only has single jointed knees. But down at the ankle he does have up and down. Left to right. Ankle rocker and toe articulation. Some purple heels there for the shoes. Let's take a look at the bottom. No identifying marks, no tread. Moving up the back, it is rather smooth sculpt work there till you get into the back of the jacket. More of that print on the jacket and the back of the neck. All in all, pretty cool Joker figure. Now let's get into some of the other different stuff. Like you can pop out his hand and add in the gesture hand. That way he could, you know, look all psycho. Now it does come with the knife. Now I found that you don't want to actually force the knife down into his hand because it is kind of soft. What you actually want to do is put it where it's going to go into the fingers and then just push it in. That way you don't have to push it down and it goes right in there. Now, of course, the knife plays a big part in the end of the graphic novel between Batman and Joker. He pretty much shanks Batman a lot of times. Once he has lost his handgun and he is blinded in one eye. So in all actuality, this knife does not really fit with him. But when I did do my repainted Deathstroke, I picked up 2 guns, but he only needed 1. So I have an extra gun. And this fits actually perfectly into the Joker's hand. So now this will belong to him, and that is a little bit more comic accurate. Throughout the book, he has a gun, and that is before the fight with Batman, so that actually works pretty well. Now, you've been hearing tons of stuff about the Mattel Joker, and let's get down to the brass tacks. First up, you do have the unemotional face, which kind of looks a little bit like the criminal from the Three Jokers one. And he has no expression because he had been in prison so long that he had forgot how to smile because there was no Batman. Not ever really been a big fan of this head. I wish they would have gave us a head without the eye injury and then the one with the Batarang in it, which would have been a lot cooler, but it was always fine. It's no problem. I still have them in the collection. And then you have the one with the Batarang in the eye, and that is when he does switch over to the knife, fighting close quarters with Batman. So that's always been cool. And in all actuality, I actually have a custom head that has both eyes. I did this myself. I filled it in with epoxy and sculpted it out and then repainted the eye in. So this is actually a Mattel Joker head with both eyes, not like the one that came with the Batarang. So if we pop this guy's head off, let's go ahead and add the Mattel one. Now, these heads are a little bit big, so this one does fit a little bit better onto this body. And plus the way I have it with the both eyes, it does match well. So what I might do just for fun is I might pick up another one of these and actually do the paint work, the more like to the way that the graphic novel was when he had the jacket with the, like, you know, pattern on it, and then use this head on that body. Maybe, you know, that's an idea. But for now, actually, I'm gonna stay with the McFarlane head, because this is actually gonna go up on my McFarlane shelf with the rest of the characters, and I want to stay true to McFarlane and have actually the head that's supposed to be with the figure. So even though that Mattel head is a little bit nice, I will admit it, and I might use it on a custom, this guy's gonna stay like that and go up on the shelf. But pretty interesting stuff here. Now before we go, let's go ahead and bring out the other figures I have reviewed, which is the Superman from The Dark Knight Returns, and also the Batman from The Dark Knight Returns. All in all, this is working out to be a pretty cool shelf. Now, I will do the Carrie Kelly Robin, and then we'll build the horse. And I will eventually have to pick up another Batman to actually be on the horse for display. And then I'll have one to actually go with the rest of the figures. So anyways, you guys keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.